Consult a physician before performing this or any exercise program. This is especially important for people with medical conditions like high blood pressure, heart disease, and diabetes. It is your responsibility to evaluate your own medical and physical condition and to determine whether to perform or adapt any of the exercises in this program. If you have symptoms like weakness, lightheadedness or dizziness, chest pain or pressure, nausea, or shortness of breath, stop and consult your healthcare provider. The audio content of the exercise programs is copyrighted. Reproduction in any format or medium is prohibited unless you receive written permission from BlindAlive, LLC.
BlindAlive.
This is Eyes Free Fitness Chair Yoga. I'm Joe Simic, certified yoga instructor and owner of Dragonfly Yoga Studio in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Today, I'll be leading you through a chair yoga sequence designed as a complete low-impact yoga practice. For this practice, you will need a sturdy chair without arms. It's important that when you are sitting on the chair, your feet can touch the floor completely. You might also want to put a small folded blanket on top of the chair for padding. I also recommend you take your shoes off. However, that is optional. If you remove your shoes and have a yoga mat, you might try putting the chair on top of the yoga mat in the very center of the mat, with the longest parts of the mat directly in front and behind you. As you find a comfortable seat on your chair, place your feet flat on the floor. Your knees should be directly over your ankles, and both your feet and ankles should be hip distance apart. As you lengthen your spine sitting up straight, try to bring the natural curve into your low back. Drop your shoulders away from your ears and relax them. With your arms along your sides, bring your hands to rest on top of your thighs, palms facing down. Bring your chin to a level resting position. As we begin our yoga practice, it's important that we take a minute to connect with the earth and find our breath. Try to root through your feet while extending through your spine. Feel the weight of your body against the chair. Feel your hands against your legs. Relax your throat and jaw, letting your tongue fall from the roof of the mouth. Begin to notice your breathing. Try not to control it, just let it be there. As you continue to breathe, move the air in and out of your nose now. Let your breath become audible. Also, begin to feel the inhale in your belly. As you breathe in, let your belly expand. And as you exhale, let the belly contract. Listen to your breath here. We call this conqueror breath, and we use it for both a centering technique to begin our yoga practice, as well as during our practice, ensuring that we remain steady and comfortable in each pose. Take a few more breaths here. From this place of centering, we will begin to warm up the muscles and joints throughout the body. Stay with your conqueror breath throughout these warm-ups and yoga postures, coming back to it whenever your mind wanders. To warm up the neck, start by dropping your chin towards your chest. As you move your head in a circle to the right, bring your right ear over your right shoulder. Continue to move in the same direction, dropping your head backwards gently, and then bringing your left ear over the left shoulder. Finally, bring the chin back to the chest. Continue to move in this circular fashion, breathing as you move. Remember to move and breathe slowly, relaxing your shoulders down. The next time you bring your chin to your chest, reverse your direction for 3 breaths. You should be taking a full rotation with each breath. As you come back to center, lift your head back to neutral. We'll move now into our wrists. Extend both your arms forward in front of you. Your arms should be parallel to the floor. Make gentle fists with both hands and begin to make circles with them, moving both at the same time, but in opposite directions. Feel the muscles throughout the arms begin to activate and the wrist joints begin to warm up. If you haven't already, reverse direction, moving the hands and wrists in the opposite direction and continuing to breathe. Now relax your arms back down and relax your shoulders. Let's move to the elbows. Again, extend your arms out in front of you, this time with your palms facing up. Your hands should be in line with your shoulders. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, bend your elbows and bring your fingertips towards the tops of your shoulders, touching them if you can. Your biceps should stay parallel to the floor. With your next inhale, bring your hands back to where they started. As you exhale, again bend your elbows and bring your hands to your shoulders. Move back and forth between the 2 points, syncing the movement with the breath and warming the muscles around the elbows. Take 3 more breaths here. With your last exhale, bring your hands to your shoulders and leave them there. This next exercise focuses on the deltoids, which are part of your shoulders. As you inhale, bring your elbows out wide to 3 and 9 o'clock so that your arms are in line with your body. Think about keeping your shoulders away from your ears and your biceps parallel to the floor. As you exhale, bring your elbows toward each other in front of you. It's okay if your elbows do not touch, just bring them together as much as you can. With your next inhale, again, bring your arms out wide, keeping your hands resting on your shoulders as much as possible. Exhale and bring your elbows together in front of you. Keep moving back and forth with your breath, and take 3 more deep breaths here. Now we'll do 2 more shoulder exercises. In this first one, we'll be internally and externally rotating the shoulders. If that sounds complicated, don't worry, I'll talk you through it. Start by bringing your elbows out wide and lift your forearms up so they are perpendicular to your biceps. Your fingers are pointing to the ceiling. Your biceps should again be parallel to the floor and your arms should be at right angles. Sometimes we call this cactus arms. Face your palms forward, and again, drop your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale here. While continuing to keep your shoulders away from your ears and maintaining your cactus arms, exhale and start to drop your palms downward, rotating at the elbow. Keep going down as far as you can, eventually fully rotating so that your palms are now facing the back wall. It's okay if you can't come down that far without dropping your biceps. Just keep your biceps parallel to the floor and come down as far as you can. Inhale back up, forming that right angle with your biceps and forearms. And then exhale again, rotating at the elbows and bringing the forearms and hands down again. Keep moving back and forth with your breath for 3 more cycles of breath. Now relax your arms along your sides. Here is our last shoulder warm-up, which works on shoulder extension and flexion. As you inhale, extend and lift both your arms up in front of you, continuing to bring them all the way up over your head so they are in line with the rest of your body. As you exhale, sweep your extended arms back down, past your thighs and behind your body. Again, as you inhale, extend and lift your arms all the way up overhead, then exhale and bring them down and behind you. Your arms remain straight in this moving and breathing exercise, but there's a slight micro bend in the elbows. Inhale and exhale 2 more times in this exercise as we continue to warm up the shoulders. With your next exhale, again relax your arms. To start warming up the back, we'll do an exercise called seated cat-cow. From your seated position, bring your hands to your knees with your palms facing down. Throughout this pose, you'll hold your knees with your hands and use this for a little traction. Again, connecting with your conqueror breath, inhale, and as you do, lift open your chest by squeezing your shoulder blades together behind you and raise your nose upward, lifting the chin. As you exhale, move in the opposite direction. Arch around your back, pulling your abdominals in towards your spine, dropping your head towards your chest and tucking your chin. Continue to breathe and move in these cat-cows. Inhaling and opening up the chest. And as you exhale, rounding the back and dropping the chin. Let's do 4 more here. When you are finished, come back to neutral and we'll work on a seated twist. Keep your right hand on your right knee and inhale, lengthening your spine and sitting up tall. As you exhale, turn your head and shoulders to the left. Drop your left arm along your side. You don't have to go all the way into a deep twist, just moving that direction is the goal. As you inhale again, come back to center with a long spine. Bring your left hand to your left knee, and as you exhale, twist open to the right, letting your right arm relax down. Inhale back to center, and start again, with your right hand on your right knee, and exhale open to the left. Inhale to center, and exhale open to the right with your left hand on your left knee. Move back and forth between the postures, syncing with your breath and making sure to pause in the center for 1 inhale. And then exhale into the twist, almost like you're twisting the air out. Do this 3 more times on each side. After your final exhale, come back to center, and we'll start to move into side bends. Start with your arms along your side. As you inhale, turn your right palm out, sweeping your arm directly out to the side and overhead so that the arm is in line with your body, and the palm is facing left. As you exhale, lean directly to the left, keeping length in the spine and forming a crescent with your body. Inhale yourself back to center, and as you do, drop your right arm, lift your left arm out to the left, and then bring it up overhead. As you exhale, lean again, this time to the right, keeping length in the spine and forming a crescent with your body once again. We are moving back and forth between these side bends. Again, inhale and lift your right arm up overhead. As you exhale, lean to the left. Inhale back to center as you lift your left arm high overhead. Exhale and lean to the right side. This should bring a stretch into the sides of the body, especially in the rib cage and the oblique muscles. Try this for 3 more breaths on each side. to the center after your last exhale. Let's move toward the lower body, starting at the feet and ankles. From your sitting position, extend both legs so that your heels are on the floor and your toes are pointing up. Your legs should be in line with your hips. As you inhale, keep your heels on the floor or mat and drop the soles of the feet toward the floor, pointing your toes forward. As you exhale, move your feet the opposite way, bringing your toes towards you. With your next inhale, point your toes forward. As you exhale, bring your toes toward your shins. While you move back and forth, syncing the movement with the breath, be sure to keep your heels in one spot on the floor. Take 3 more breaths just like this, pointing with your inhale, flexing with your exhale. Bring your toes to a neutral position. Just like we did with our wrists, we'll begin to rotate our feet at the ankles. Move both feet in the same direction, making big circles with your toes. Take a few breaths here as you continue to rotate. Breathe naturally in and out. Bring your feet back to neutral and then start moving in the opposite direction. Take a few breaths in this direction as well. Come back to where you started and then bring your feet flat to the floor again. We're moving into our knees, starting with the right leg and keeping it in line with your right hip. Inhale. And as you do, lift the right foot off the floor and extend the right leg out straight. You don't need to get the leg completely straight. As with all yoga postures, we always keep a micro bend in the knee. As you exhale, bend the knee again and lift the bottom of the thigh off the chair, bringing the top of the knee up and towards your chest slightly. Extend the leg out again, inhaling as you do. Again, exhale. Lift the bottom of the thigh off the chair, bringing the top of the knee up and towards your chest. Move back and forth with your right leg for 3 more cycles of breath, being sure to keep your foot off the ground during this exercise. After your last exhale, put your right foot back on the ground, and let's do the same exercise with the left leg. Inhale and lift the left foot off the floor and extend the left leg out straight. With your exhale, lift the bottom of the thigh off the chair, bringing the top of the knee up and towards you as you bend your knee. Let's do that 4 more times on this left side. Now we're transitioning into more strength and balance-oriented postures. Rest back onto your seat if you have not already, and let's move into a pose called Warrior 2. Start by shifting yourself to the left on your chair. Then spread your legs wide apart and remain seated. Turn your right foot out, bend your right knee, and stack it on top of your right ankle. At the same time, extend and straighten your left leg, keeping your left foot perpendicular to your right foot. Your right foot should be flat on the floor, and you should be pressing through the outside edge of your left foot. The back of your right thigh, or your hamstring, should be fully supported by the seat of the chair. You may have to slide a little more to the left to support the underside of the right thigh. Your chest is pointing forward. Lift your arms up from your sides at 3 and 9 o'clock, so they are in line with your body and parallel to the floor. Keeping your shoulders away from your ears, point your nose towards your right hand. Find your breath in this warrior pose. Feel the muscle engagement in your right quadriceps as you push your foot down on the floor. Feel the stretch in the inside of your left thigh. Your shoulders will also be building strength as you keep your arms up. Engage your core and lengthen your spine. Breathe here. Relax your arms down and let's switch sides. Bring your legs back to center of the chair and then shift your seat slightly to the right this time. Again, begin by bringing your legs wide apart. Turn your left foot out this time, bend your left knee, and stack it on top of your left ankle. Extend and straighten your right leg, keeping your right toes forward and perpendicular to your left foot. This time, the back of your left thigh should be on the seat of the chair. Your chest remains pointing forward. Lift your arms up again so they're in line with your body, but parallel to the floor. Let your shoulders move away from your ears. Point your nose to your left hand. Take 3 breaths here with length in your spine and engagement in your abdominal muscles. Remember to root through your right foot and build strength in that quad. Well done. Let's relax here on our chair and take a breath. We're going to move into some basic standing and balancing postures. Let's stand up with the chair behind us and come into mountain pose. Bring your feet directly under your hips and your toes pointing forward and your feet parallel. Equally distribute your weight to the 4 corners of your feet. Put a little bend in your knees and come to the natural curve in your lower back. Drop your shoulders away from your ears and relax them. With your arms along your sides, open up your palms to face forward, the front of the mat. Your chin should be in a level resting position. Take a few breaths here, standing up tall. Now let's raise our arms up overhead. As you inhale, make one sweeping motion with your arms extended, lifting your arms to the side and up above you. Your palms should be facing one another, and your hands should be a little wider than your shoulders. This will allow you to keep your shoulders away from your ears without forcing your shoulders down. Imagine that you're holding a giant ball above your head. It's important to engage your ab muscles here as you lengthen through your spine. Take 3 more deep breaths here. Relax your arms down, and we'll move into a posture known in yoga as chair pose. From the same mountain pose you were in, start to engage your quads or thigh muscles as you root through your feet. Inhale here, and then as you exhale, begin to bend your knees and drop your buttocks towards your chair. We want to try to bring our thighs as parallel to our chair seat as possible, but without sitting down. Keep your knees in line with your hips and bring your chest slightly forward, forming a right angle with the thighs. Remember to keep length in your spine and breathe here. You can either rest your hands on your hips or extend your arms out directly in front of you, parallel to the floor. Start to breathe here. Keep breathing. If it's difficult for you to sit back from a standing posture, you can always move into the pose from your chair. So, in that instance, from your seated position, you would engage your thighs and core and lift your buttocks off the chair as much as possible. You can even use your hands on the chair to do so. Either way, the goal is to build strength in your thighs, and at this point they should be working pretty hard. Don't forget to breathe. Well done. Relax here by either dropping your arms and standing back up or by completely sitting down. Take a resting breath. For this next balancing posture called tree pose, We'll want to move behind our chair, and we'll be standing up. Start by facing the chair with the back of the chair in front of you, but then turn to the left so that the right side of the body is facing the chair. As we move into a basic tree pose, remember to use the chair for support. Just like the roots of a tree, it's important that we really ground through our feet and feel stable in this pose. So again, start in your mountain pose with your hands on your hips, feeling your weight evenly distributed through both feet. Next, begin to shift your weight into your right foot, feeling even more grounded in that foot. As your left foot feels lighter, turn it out so that it's perpendicular to your right foot. Then lift your left heel, keeping your toes on the floor, and rest your heel just above your right ankle. So your left toes are on the floor, and your left knee is bent and in line with your body, and your left heel is against your right leg. Don't let your right hip slide out to the right. Keep it stacked on the knee, like a tree trunk. Bring your right hand to the top of the chair's backrest. Use the chair for support and begin to sweep your left arm up just like you did in mountain pose. Bring the left arm wider than the shoulder and overhead. Engage your core by bringing your navel towards your spine and begin to breathe here. Slowly work our way out of the pose. Bring your left arm back down to your side and your left foot back to the floor. Let's move into the posture on the other side now. So turn yourself around so the left side of your body is closest to the chair. Again from mountain pose with your hands on your hips, feeling your weight in both feet. Now shift your weight to your left foot. As your right foot feels lighter this time, turn it out so it's perpendicular to your left foot. Now place the right toes on the floor and the heel against the left leg. Bring your left hand to the top of the chair's backrest. Again, use the chair for support and begin to sweep your right arm up this time. Bring the right arm wider than the shoulder and overhead. Engage your core and breath. Bring your right arm back down slowly and bring your right foot back to the floor. Turn so that your chest is facing the back of the chair. It's now time to stretch the muscles we worked in the previous postures. Let's move into a modified downward facing dog. Take hold of the backrest of the chair with both hands at shoulder distance apart. During down dog, keep your hands on the back of the chair. Start to walk your feet backwards and begin to hinge at your hips and extend your arms out straight while you bring your chest down. So your legs will be straight, always with a micro bend in the knees. Your hips will be on top of your knees and your chest will be parallel to the floor and your arms will be fully extended. Root through your feet. Send your tailbone high as you drop your chest toward the floor slightly. Feel the stretch along the back of the legs and in your shoulders. Breathe here in down dog, coming up if you need to. Try to take 5 good mindful breaths here. Move out of the pose the same way you moved into it, by keeping your hands on the chair and by walking the feet toward the chair until you are in a standing position again. With the back of the chair in front of you, we'll come into a version of dancer pose, which will stretch our quadriceps. This is a balancing posture similar to tree pose, so it's important that we start by grounding through our feet. Feel stable here in a mountain pose with your weight evenly distributed through both feet. Place your right hand on the back of the chair. Next, begin to shift your weight into your right foot. feeling even more grounded in that foot. As your left foot feels lighter, begin to bend your left knee and lift your left ankle so that you can hold onto it with your left hand. As you bring your left heel towards your left buttocks, you'll begin to feel a stretch on the top of your left thigh. It's important to keep your left knee in line with your left hip and find a few cycles of breath here. Again, this is a balancing posture, so make sure that you use the chair for support. If you can't quite reach your ankle with your hand, you can use a belt or a yoga strap, or perhaps even hold onto your pant leg. If you use a strap or belt, wrap it around your ankle and bring the other end of the strap into your hand. Keep breathing here. Gently release your left ankle and bring your foot back to the floor. It's time to do the same thing on the opposite side. Place your left hand on the back of the chair, and this time shift your weight into your left foot. Feel more grounded in that foot. As your right foot feels lighter, bend your right knee and lift up your right ankle so you can hold onto it with your right hand. Feel that same stretch, this time in the quads on the right side. Keep your knee in line with your hip, not letting it flare out to the right, and breathe. Release your ankle and bring your foot back down. It's time to move back to your chair and sit down, with your knees directly over your ankles. We'll continue stretching muscles as we move into something called seated pigeon pose. Lift your right foot off the mat and place your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Push through your right heel, bringing your toes towards your shin. Inhale and lengthen your spine. As you exhale, bend forward at the hips slightly, keeping your spine long and your back flat. You may support your right knee with your hand. You should feel a really great stretch along the right glute muscles and into your right hip joint. You may also feel a stretch moving into your lower back on the right side. Come down to a level that feels right for you and take 4 or 5 breaths here. Yourself back up and bring your right foot back down to the floor. It's time to do the pose on the other side. Make sure your feet are flat on the floor again. Lift your left foot off the mat and place your left ankle on top of your right thigh. Push through your left heel, again bringing your toes towards your shin. Inhale with length in your spine. As you exhale, hinge forward at the hips slightly, keeping your spine long and your back flat. Stretch the muscles on this side of the body as you breathe. Bring your torso back up and bring your feet flat to the floor again, knees over ankles. We'll move into one more stretching posture, which will be a seated forward fold. Sitting up tall, again inhale your arms out in front of you and then overhead. Exhale, and as you do, bend forward at the hips, bringing your chest down to your lap and let your arms hang toward the floor. If you can't come down all the way to your chest, place your palm on your knees, holding yourself up, and come down as far as you can. Take some deep breaths here in this forward fold. yourself back up. It's time to move into our final relaxation pose. Find the same posture we started with, and again, get comfortable in your chair. Place your feet flat on the floor. Bring your knees over your ankles. As you lengthen through your spine, sitting up straight, try to bring the natural curve into your lower back. Drop your shoulders away from your ears and relax them. With your arms along your sides, bring your hands to the rest on the top of your thighs, palms facing down. Bring your chin to a level resting position and let your tongue drop from the roof of your mouth. Begin to notice your breath again. We'll move now into a 3-part breath. As you continue to breathe in and out of the nose, direct your awareness to your belly. Breathe into your belly and feel it expand with the in-breath. And then let it contract with the out-breath. As you breathe in, the balloon expands, and as you breathe out, the balloon empties. Think about breathing into the low belly as well, almost as if the air can reach the pelvic floor, and then exhale from this point. Take one more breath in and out of the belly. With your next breath, breathe into the belly and up into your floating ribs. Exhale from the floating ribs and then the belly. Again, inhaling to the belly, up to the floating ribs, and then exhaling floating ribs and belly. Feel the expansion of the lower ribs as the breath moves in, and then exhale again. Another breath here, just like the last one. We'll move into the complete 3-part breath now. Breathe into your lower belly, up to your floating ribs, and finally up to your collarbones. Reverse the order as you exhale from your collarbones, your rib cage, and your belly. Yogis also call this ocean breath. Feel the tide of your breath as it expands your belly, your rib cage, and your collarbones. Exhaling collarbones, rib cage, belly. As you continue to breathe like this, see if you can feel the expansion of your lower back and your shoulder blades as well. Feel the entirety of your torso expanding with the inhale and contracting with the exhale. Continue with this gentle rhythmic breath. Notice how your exhales begin to be a little bit longer than your inhales, but the breath is still fluid, further relaxing you. As the breath deepens, the mind begins to clear, and as the mind clears, the breath begins to deepen. As your mind wanders, keep returning your focus to your breath. Each inhale brings relaxation. Each exhale relieves tension. As you continue to breathe here, think to yourself as you inhale, I am, and as you exhale, at peace. Inhaling, I am, and exhaling, at peace. Stay here in this peaceful state, continuing to breathe. invite you now to take your deepest breath in, fully inhaling and fully exhaling. Take a moment here to thank yourself for practicing your yoga. Take note of how you feel. Take this sense of relaxation with you as you go through your day. Bring your palms together in front of your heart and bow to your true self. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, namaste. For more descriptive fitness programs, go to BlindAlive.com.
To learn more about BlindAlive and to order our products, visit us on the web at www.blindalive.com. While you're there, check out our blog and podcast. Finally, like us on Facebook and follow @BlindAlive on Twitter.